Ladies and boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Turbo Coin. Listen, free open Discord for everybody to join with the first link in the description. Highly recommend becoming a part of the community. But yeah, guys, let's just jump right into this. First off, we are going to start with the basics. We can see 260 million market cap. We are ranked 160 in the world, 0.0037 in terms of price, 26.5 million volume. So we know volume has been really low the last, let's just say, few short weeks, right? We really have been going down in volume, and that's okay because the last time we actually went down in volume, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, it's when we actually started to reverse, right? We're selling, we're getting a little bit lower volume, we sold off again, and then low volume, and all of a sudden, it wasn't that crazy, it wasn't anything, and then bam, right? And then bam, we exploded, right? We can see we are almost at 56,000 holders. Okay, absolutely fantastic. That is what we love to see. Still growing extremely strong despite, a lot of indecisions. And that's the thing we're going to talk about today, right? There's so much indecision with the markets. Bitcoin literally is doing everything it can until the final second before it makes a choice. And that's not an over exaggeration, right? Because right now we can see that we are on the daily. Okay. We're on the daily. And the reason why this is relevant for Turbo is because, ladies and gentlemen, the way Bitcoin moves is the way Turbo is going to move as well for 99.9% of the time, right? So we can see we have all these highs that are going consistently lower, right? They are going consistently lower. We can see, and then we have some lows over here that boom, right, are getting pushed up higher and higher. And we can see, ladies and gentlemen, that we can tell that the highs are lower and the bottoms are getting higher. And we are literally, literally getting sandwiched as much as possible. And we really, really have to make a choice, right? We really, really have to make a choice. We can see, right? Boom, this bottom, this higher bottom, this bottom over here, that's also higher than this one, this higher bottom, but then we see top, lower top, lower top, lower top, lower top. And it's like, my God, can we just explode in a direction at this point? Like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care at this point. Obviously, I wanted to go up, right? The most ideal thing for us would be to go sideways like this, kind of diagonally, right? Kind of diagonally, to then just kind of explode to the upside, because obviously that means we are going to see some type of pumps. But still, right? It's still funny to see, right? It's also why the markets generally have been slower, right? Generally, they have been slower. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's the same thing for Turbo, right? Our lows are getting consistently higher and higher. Practically have a double bottom here, so we'll just count that as a double bottom. So we have a low, double bottom that is higher, then again another higher low, boom, and then again a higher low, boom. But we could see, right, in terms of higher highs, we were also going up higher and higher, right? Boom, higher, 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 and higher until actually recently where we actually have our first lower high. So a little bit change of structure when it comes to the highs, right? Nothing changed with the lows just yet. You know, if I was supposed to just simply guess based off the price action, right? I don't like the lower high that we actually printed. So it would probably suggest some downside movement, to be honest. But of course, we still don't really have that big confirmation just yet, right? We still don't have that big confirmation just yet. Overall, it's been a very, very weird price action, right? I still expect for us to do really, really well over the next coming weeks. Generally speaking, even if we are going to be slow, I still expect some type of movement to the upside, generally speaking, right? Generally speaking, I expect some movement to the upside. I know some people are getting worried and they're just saying, hey, and honestly, if we could just go back to all-time highs, I would be happy. And for me, guys, I think that's really undershooting it. Look, I know ultimately at the end of the day, right? It's easy to kind of just give out mentally when things have dropped and haven't really been going up consistently for the last few months, right? We can say confidently ever since, let's just say, the beginning of the year, right? We've been selling off. Yes, we had some time. There was time where we had some resurgence, but still at the end of the day, compared to the big sell-off, at the end of the day, that was only roughly, 50% of the retracement we got back, right? And we can see we're still near decent bottoms. So I know a lot of people are starting to get clocked out now because it's been half a year with this type of price action that still is really underwhelming compared to the last few weeks, the last few months of 2024, right? Especially for something like Turbo. But ladies and gentlemen, here is the deal, right? Patience is a virtue, and I do believe that, our time will come. I still believe in the altcoin season. I still believe that we will be exploding. Okay. Because something like Bitcoin dominance does suggest that we will. It's just a matter of, when it happens. We can also see that we are kind of in this very, very strict trend line, right? I do believe that once we do break out and start to break out, whether we go down first, we will start looking to be making nice moves, okay? Because there's going to be a nice support here, a nice diagonal support. And then after that, of course, our next zones are going to be boom, right? 0.0073 to 78 is going to be our main next target, right? So yeah, right? Let me know what you guys are doing. Are you still dollar cost averaging? Are you out of turbo? Do you still have faith? Are you looking to cash out at all-time highs? What is your personal plan, ladies and gentlemen? It was very, very important to have one. If you don't have one and you also like a portfolio review and also be in a private community, highly recommend joining the Discord as you do get exclusive information and of course call outs to a bunch of coins that we have been calling out in dollar cost averaging in because we do know there's a high chance that they will explode. But yeah, that is ultimately it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Do not stress out too much. Do not stress out too much. I know things are worrying, right? I know things are worrying, but you have to remember that it's part of the game, right? It is simply part of the game. But yeah, anyways, I love you guys so, so much. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys in another video. Goodbye.